Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
I am that too, Bodkins. Patty to patty. It's ridiculous. No way. There's nobody else out there. He's your guy. Give a big round of applause for the one and only Bodkin Show. I'm going to repeat that again, folks. I didn't stutter. Welcome to the Bodkins Show. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of the Bodkin Show. I am your host, Bodkins, as always, baby. We're back, man. I feel like it is week 11 reaction show. Man, crazy day. If you missed it, I talked about my Packers on about Thursday's big win on the LTS show this morning, the Sunday Blitz show. It was glorious. The Packers smelling the playoffs, I feel like. Couple teams that we're going to talk about today going to be smelling the playoffs. Broncos, I think, are smelling the playoffs. Some teams' playoffs hopes are getting shut. Bills, another tough loss for the Bills. If they could have won this game, would have been huge. We'll talk about that. We'll talk Brownie's dead, maybe, possibly. This Steelers offense that somehow got 400 total yards for the first time in like 56 games, but they still didn't put up no fucking points and barely beat the Bengals. So I wouldn't say barely, but, you know, a lot of close games, especially in that early slate. Texans, heartbreaker. Still like them as the playoffs open, though. So there's a lot of close games. How the hell the Falcons in first fucking place? No idea. So, we don't know any of that stuff. But to help me talk about it and break it down on this guy's team, it doesn't matter who's that quarterback or if it's Bailey Zappi or Mac Jones, they still lost to Danny DeVito and the Giants, our own Hall of Famer, Scott Cope. Scott, what's up, my man?
Not much. I'm totally happy with the top 5 draft pick. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you, Mac, for sucking like you usually do, so.
Yeah, huge. I mean, Bailey Zappi didn't play a whole lot better either. You know what I mean? I think they at least got 7 points with Mac in there. Was that when Zappi's drive? I can't remember when.
That was Zappi's. Yeah, that was Zappi's first drive that they got the touchdown.
So. Okay.
I
mean, that game is neither one of those teams are very good. I mean, the Giants, I guess. What's that? 3 wins now, 4 wins. So they're in the playoff hunt, man. I mean, it's a wide open crapshoot in the NFC. So,
yeah, so the Giants, whichever team lost today was almost locked for top 5.
Yeah,
so the Giants right now are locked for top 10, and I think they're going to stay there. But they need a lot of help. I mean, 10-7. I mean, you're not moving the ball well. Saquon's in and out of the game today. Receiving wise, they have 0 for wide receivers. You know, he's going to Sterling Shepard, who is a shell of himself from when he started his career. So,
Giants Twitter's knocking on. Where's Jalen Hyatt? Remember they drafted him in like the second round. Where's he at? Some of that's probably you don't have the quarterback to get him the wide receivers either. Alan wants to know: do Pats go QB and who?
Here's what I'm going to say: the Patriots are almost like the Packers. They don't draft good skill players in the first round or skill players at all. They have to go quarterback. They have to. They have to reboot this whole thing again. I mean,
I think a lot of that depends on who the GM and coach is next year. I mean,
exactly.
It may not be Bill Belichick.
Exactly. But can you really?
Let me ask you this, guy. If it's not Bill, do you keep Mac Jones and say, give him that fresh start?
I don't think
someplace else.
I don't think you can. I think this kid is just totally screwed up right now. I mean, he threw, but the second pick he threw was just awful. He threw it right to the Giants guy. I mean, right to him. The guy was standing there literally, and Mac Jones throws the ball, and it's right there. It's right to him. He's just standing there. He's like, "Oh, here comes the ball. I'm going to get."
There will be a team that I think you could get a third for Mac if you were going to trade him. There'll be teams out there that feel like you can resurrect this kid.
Yeah, I think one is Las Vegas. I think that's where he was, the rumor was he was going to go there in the offseason. Vegas would probably take him and work with him and try to get him better. But, yeah, he's gone. He's just mentally drained and gone. So yeah, he needs to go someplace else. They need to either, there's a comment there. I don't think Minnesota's letting Josh Dobbs get out of the building, to be honest with you. I think
no.
And you can't go with Josh Dobbs because Josh Dobbs is going to be who we thought Josh Dobbs was eventually. Yeah. So they got to draft a quarterback, whether it be Penix, whether it be Nix, whether it be the kid from Georgia. I don't know who it is, but you gotta go that way again and reboot it.
Yeah. A guy who they got their franchise quarterback here, and he was me and his team both won over Thursday and Fridays. Our old Mr. Yankee fan, Johnny Cruz. Johnny, what's up, my man?
What's going on, fellas? Like I said in the text thread, wasn't it nice to just be able to sit back and have a stress-free Sunday because our team's already won earlier in the week.
Shut up.
Hey man, you're getting the top 5 pick, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that's
I know.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, but Bill will go to draft some kid out of Wichita, School of Blind and
Sacramento State by the hairdresser school or something like that.
No, it was a fun day. You know what I'm saying? Some interesting ball games, some ugly ass ball games as well. I still can't get over that Stefanski double reverse after DTR gets hurt. You go with some, some bullshit as double reverse and just give it to the Denver Broncos right there on the
some of the play calling that we saw today. I mean, we say it every week. Right. Jesus, Frank Wright. I would fire Frank Wright. Would not have a ride home on the plane. I guess that game was in Tennessee today.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Fourth and 8, and they tried this little swing fucking pass. With the game on the line. Get him out. I mean, McDermott, he's supposed to be calling this Bills defense, and they let Philadelphia go down. I mean, Josh Allen throws a late touchdown or interception in that game was bad, but they let the Eagles go down twice. 60-yard field goal kid drills it. I mean, for the fucking brand, if I never saw one, and then then they let him go down and score the touchdown in overtime.
I legitimately looked at my phone. Saw the Bills were ahead. I wasn't watching the game time. Saw the Bills. They kicked the field goal in overtime. I went into the box score to check it because I have Josh Allen on about 1,000 teams. I went back to the main page, and Philly had already won the game. It was legitimately 2 minutes after I checked.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing, defense? You just allow Philadelphia in the biggest game of the year for you to go down the field and just
That was a game they needed to win. The Bills had to have, So real fresh as a Steelers fan, I've never hated watching a winning team so much. It's like I'm mad when they win. Yeah, the Steelers they're just an anomaly, bro. Even today, they finally get over 400 total yards, and it's just like, where? You watch that team and where did those 400 yards come from? Because they didn't score any points. I mean, they beat Cincinnati, which that was a game. I was going to be done with Pittsburgh if they lost that game today. Just absolutely done. Like, but they find ways to win, and I guess that's what good teams do, but they're not. Are they a good team? I don't really
I was just about to say, but we're not even sure if they're a good team.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Well, look at the
I don't understand. That's a team. There's a few teams out there. I'm like, I don't really know. Their record says they're a good team, but my eyes tell me they're not a good team.
Right.
In the AFC wildcard mix, who was a good team in the wildcard mix in the AFC this year? It's Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Houston. Houston showed today that they got a lot of work.
I still think Houston's a good team. Me and Johnny said this last week. They're going to lose a game or two because they're so young. In today's game they're missing one thing, and that's a fucking kicker because he missed 2 kicks that technically would have won them the game.
There's a backup kicker. They signed him off the street.
Off the couch. Yeah.
So
I'm with Carlos here on this one too. Carlos, Denver's won 5 in a row.
Yeah. Hey, we all owe a Denver apology. We at the delegation here, we send out our formal apology to one Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, but other than Kansas City, who have they beaten in that? I mean, they beat Cleveland today, but Cleveland had a backup to the backup.
Hey, they beat Green Bay, baby. That's when they beat Green Bay is when they turned their season around.
I mean, 5 in a row is 5 in a row, regardless. You know what I'm saying? They're, you know, and Russ has been playing pretty good all
when
year.
they got their asses kicked against Johnny's Dolphins, if we would have said, hey, this team's going to win 5 fucking games in a row later on in the year, we would also ask who the weed man is because, you know, you're smoking some good shit.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
I mean,
they beat Buffalo too.
Yeah.
Let's see how they play down the stretch here because I'm really not. I'm not so.
I don't know that they're necessarily a good team. You know what I'm saying? They're playing well right now. But as far as all the wildcard teams, I mean, it's kind of just throw them all up against the wall and see which one sticks.
Did we overestimate the AFC being good this year?
I think no, but it's just media. The whole league, and Tom Brady said this both. And I want to talk to you guys with this before we get into all the games real quick. Tom Brady said the league is mediocre, and it's why I somewhat agree. There's not high level talent. The rules have changed, but at the same time, Tom, you've only been retired 6 months ago. You played in the same fucking league, so don't say it's mediocre because you were just in this fucking league. You know, so I kind of agree with Alex. What Alex Smith said at the same time is two can be right. Tom is saying the league's mediocre. We do have a bunch of mediocre teams. There's not very. We've all kind of said there's about 3 or 4 teams I believe are really going to win the Super Bowl. Everybody else is just kind of meh. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, outside, I think so. My feeling is that's partly right, and the other part is there's too many high-end injuries this year. Just too many
injuries. And I said this. I said part of it. I read a thing too, and I've said this too as well. The offensive line, especially, the offensive lines are atrocious, and that's because offensive lines, they are the ones that need to be in the camp from day in, day out, that repetition and those things. We're missing that continuity, the humming of the offense. It's because we're not doing it enough. We're not doing 2-a-days. We're not having pads on practice anymore. We delegated all that out for injuries. Yeah. But now, if you look, there's still more. There's more injuries, right? Like there's the last few years, there's more injuries because your body's waking up on a Tuesday saying, "Hey, we got to go play an NFL game," but you're not really ready. Your body's not really ready. And then there goes an Achilles, there goes this and that. So,
I mean, Johnny, let me ask you, how much of a drop is it for the Dolphins defense losing Phillips for the rest of the year? Is it a precipitous drop?
they're gonna feel it. They're gonna feel it. You're saying
Carlos is saying that the league's been bad for about 5 years, and that's partly true. I think that they've made things to where it's almost easier, I think, at times, but the defenses have gotten a lot better too. It's now back to it's a pendulum, right? Remember, like a couple years ago, offenses were killing it. Now the pendulum's swinging back. We all said today, I mean, 10 games could have bet the under. You know what I mean? Because the pendulum of the defense has now swung back the other way.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of bad quarterback play around the league too. So I mean, between that and the injuries, like we've been saying, because we have had a lot of injuries this year.
It's bad quarterbacks and bad coaching.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, but it's just, I mean, it's, like Alan mentioned there, you know what I'm saying? Like Tom Brady talking about the whole protecting yourself and you're not allowed to hit and stuff like that. I mean, bro, you benefited from that for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So,
but like I said, two things can be right at the same time. Right. Tom is somewhat right. The league is very mediocre. And Alex Smith, on what his ascension of saying, hey, Tom, you just played in this league 6 months ago, and you played in your whole decade of career, you played in the worst division of all of football, and you guys were, you know what I mean? So two things can be right. Tom was kind of right. Alex Smith, in his rebuttal, you're like, that makes fucking sense too.
Right. No, I completely agree with that, man.
Agreed, 100%. Both of them are
I wanted to real quick before we get into the other games here. I just wanted to peep the Broncos schedule. So now they're 6-5. The rest of the way, they got the Texans. That's a big game for both teams. Both teams got to have that next week. Playoff implications. Both of them are 6-5. Then they got the Chargers. That's a winnable game. Then they got the Lions. Who knows what Detroit Lions is going to play. Then they got the Patriots.
Winnable.
They got the Chargers again, and then the Raiders again.
So at worst 4-2 the rest of the season.
Yeah,
at worst.
That's 10 wins.
That's 10 wins.
Right. a team that got 70 dropped on them in week 3 has a chance to win 10 games. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, the way they're playing and the way the defense is starting to play, if they go 5-1, you know what I'm saying, they can wind up with 11. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't think they catch Kansas City, but
since that defense gave up 70, they've allowed 28, 21, 19, 19, 9, 22, 20, and then today 12. Right. Like they haven't even allowed they've only allowed 30 points one time since they gave up to 70.
What I've heard on the radio on NFL, NFL channel from former pro players is their defense was not healthy at the beginning of the year, and now they're healthy, and you see what they can do.
And kudos, like I said, we all here at the Bodkin Show, at the LTS Show Network. Maybe not Tanner, but I won't speak for him. But the rest of us, we all owe Sean Payton and I don't even really want to say Russ, but definitely Sean Payton and maybe a little Russ, the Denver Broncos organization apology. We apologize.
I don't think it's Sean Payton. I think it's the defense. We were all cracking on the defense all early in the season.
No, it's a little bit of both. Yeah. I mean, Sean Payton was talking a lot of shit, right? And he was getting it shoved back into him. So
I mean, he deserved the criticism he got. You know what I'm saying, for all the shit talking that he was doing, like you said. And I mean, I even made the comment when it happened and Miami dropped the 70 on them that, I mean, Russ was actually playing well in that game. You know what I'm saying? The Miami offense just went, saying completely berserk on them. So, I mean, Russ has definitely turned it around from last season, 180 degrees, not 360. But, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I like the way Russ is playing right now. They're running the ball well. I mean, Samaje Perine, which I forgot to put in my freaking fantasy league, Scott, had a really good game today. They're running the ball. They're playing good defense. And then you just mentioned their schedule, bro. I mean, they mess around. They keep this little run going. That's going to be a team that's going to be interesting to see if they do happen to make it in the playoffs.
Yeah. So the Back It Up podcast says now it went away, but they were pretty much saying they've been playing on the road. The rest of their games are going to be at home for the most part here. So
but the thing is, I don't think they have a difficult schedule down the stretch. So it doesn't matter where they play.
No, they got winnable games.
Right.
You know how shocking that Texans loss. I just was kind of looking at now that's dropped them into third in their division. Colts win, and we're going to talk about the Colts here in just a second. In their game as they beat the Bucks, but the Colts are 6-5, Houston 6-5. That loss right there, Jacksonville's undefeated at home and or undefeated away, should I say, 4-1 in the division. So Jacksonville's beating at least teams in their division, and Houston's now 1-2 in the division, and Indy's 2-2 in second place. So the Colts playoffs for Minshew mania.
Right. And we were joking about that, you know what I'm saying? Joking about that team and stuff early on. And, Richardson went down after a few weeks or whatever. And, Gardner's playing, you know what I'm saying? He's playing good football. I'm not going to say he's playing great football right now, but he's playing good football. The return of Jonathan Stewart is definitely, you know what I'm saying, helping them out.
Jonathan Taylor.
Sorry.
Jonathan Stewart, old UCLA, Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, true. Right. But no, they're playing good football. I mean, in that division, is beating up on each other. So that was a big loss by the Texans, man. If they could have pulled that off, man, that would have been pretty interesting. But this game coming up against Denver, like you mentioned, that's gonna be a big one this next week, man.
Yeah, we got the let's talk about the Bucks-Colts game here. Colts win 27-20, get to 6-5 in the playoff hunt. Bucks fall. If the Bucks would have won this game with the way everybody else in the AFC, they could have had a chance. They could still win that division, but it is falling apart there in Tampa. Baker Mayfield, 20 of 30, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Rachaad White, 15 carries for 100 yards. They're finally starting to run the ball a little bit better in Tampa. Mike Evans, 6 for 70 and the 2 touchdowns. You get to the Colts here. Gardner Minshew, 24-41, 251 yards, had an interception. Jonathan Taylor, 15 for 91 and 2 touchdowns. Gardner also ran in a touchdown. Michael Pittman Jr., 10 for 107. Josh Downs had 5 receptions for 43 yards. Scott, what's your thoughts here? I mean, Colts, can they make the playoffs? Can they make a run here?
Yeah, they can. I mean, look at the teams in the playoffs now. Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Houston, Denver, and Indy. Those are the 5 teams that are in the mix here. Is Indy the worst team out of the 5? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Cleveland has great – we'll get to Cleveland when we get to Cleveland. But Michael Pittman's – again, we said it about Mike Evans. I'll say it again about Mike Evans. He's a stud. He's a complete stud. If he had a decent quarterback throwing him the ball, because Baker missed him on a couple of throws today, that Mike Evans could have had a much bigger day than he had. So, to me – and I sat there, I watched Baker on the red zone, and I'm like, what are you doing, Baker? His decision-making is just really bad. And that's going to keep the Bucs – it's going to keep the Bucs out of the playoffs and out of the division championship. His decision-making has to be better. It just isn't. He takes sacks. He holds on to the ball too long.
Yeah, man.
I think he tries to do more than he's capable of. But on the Indy side, kudos to them. Jonathan Taylor's running the ball pretty well right now.
Right now, the Colts are the seventh spot in the playoffs, so they would make it. They're the 7th seed.
Another guy that's underrated that we never talk about, Michael Pittman. Michael Pittman is an underrated wide receiver in the NFL. He's really good wide receiver.
He's playing well. Yeah,
I'm looking at the Colts' remaining schedule. They got some. It's the Colts, so who the fuck knows, right? But they got the Titans next week. That's a winnable game. Toss up, but winnable. Then they got the Bengals, another winnable game, obviously without Joe Burrow. Then they got the Steelers. Again, that's kind of a toss-up type game. Then they got the Falcons, a winnable game. The Raiders, winnable. And then they got the Texans. That Week 17 game, that could be the game.
That could be for the last spot. That could be for the last playoff spot.
Yeah.
I think the Colts would already be in it based on the 5 games before that. If they go 5-0,
just in case, though, that could be for the last spot, though. Ryan, we'll get to the Eagles here in a minute.
I think the Colts could get the 5 or 6 seed in the AFC based on that schedule. They may not lose another game.
I don't know. Yes, they could. They're the Colts, though, man. I'm not buying it. Yeah. You just never know.
Yeah.
Who out of those 5 are going to beat them? Who do you feel confident?
Any one of the 5 could.
Any one of them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, again, we go back to Pittsburgh. We have no idea how they're winning these games.
Obviously, the Colts are the same way. The Colts are the same way.
Are the ones, you know what I'm saying? But, like, I mean, this is truly, you know what I'm saying, any given Sunday or whatever they play type. You know what I'm saying? We don't, like, how often do you see all these lines where it was a point or a point and a half? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For most of the, you know what I'm saying? So there was so many games that were pretty much pick'ems today. I mean, it's pretty much. I mean, you don't know.
I'm not buying into the Titans, Carlos. I don't think.
I'm not buying into them either. They played Carolina today.
I mean, as far as the Titans beating the Colts, I mean, it's
possible.
It's definitely possible.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But you know what I'm saying, the Raiders. You know what I'm saying, like somebody mentioned there. You know, I don't know, man. Like this is one of those seasons where it's like. This is one of those seasons where
there's really 3 elite. To me, there's 4 elite teams. That you know what I mean. Right. It's still the 49ers, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Ravens. Right. After that, maybe Miami. You know what I mean? But I need to see Miami actually beat a team, like a winning team. You know,
and that's what I was just about to say. If there's a season for Miami to fucking go on a run, this is that season. You know what I'm saying? Keep winning the games you're supposed to win. As far as everybody say, oh, you can't be good teams. Well, you know what? We got 4 fucking scrubs still coming up. Beat those teams, and even if you do happen to lose all the games to the good teams, you still got 11 wins. You know what I'm saying? And probably win the division. You know what I'm saying? And hosting a game down in
I'd say the division's yours.
Right. Well, I mean, dude, until this shit happens, after 20 years of misery, bro, I don't get ahead of myself when it comes to the Dolphins at all. But yeah, they should handle their business, host a playoff game. Like, this is the year for a team besides Kansas City to make a run. And I know Kansas City is Kansas City, and
they look beatable every week. You're watching.
That's what I'm saying. They look beatable this season. So, I mean, the playoffs are going to be interesting once we see who gets in. This game tonight, it ain't gonna mean shit to the Chargers or whatever. But Baltimore wants to stay close to Jacksonville and to Miami and Kansas City, obviously for that number one spot.
I agree,
it's gonna be
Alan. That's
interesting,
kind of
man.
my tier, right?
Yeah, that's the tier one. Yeah.
Chiefs, Eagles, Ravens, 49ers. Well, let's see what happens today with the Ravens. Don't stub your toe against these damn Chargers.
Yeah, the Ravens, they stubbed their toe a couple weeks ago against the Browns. You know what I mean? Like that,
Right.
they were up by 10 in that game.
Right.
They did.
So,
But any of those 4 teams could lose to any other team in the NFL, and it would not be surprised. Almost not be surprised.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
So
Yeah, because I mean the
Eagles, man,
the
it
Eagles were
seems
getting
like
They were getting dominated today.
yeah.
they
You know
were.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then in the second half, they just they come up with this crazy run, and Buffalo just fell apart. I mean, what the hell?
I mean, even last week, the Eagles, right, with the Chiefs, like it's just like they're not like Tanner mentioned. It's they just go about their business. It's like they just continue. They don't ever get rattled. Like they don't ever. They play the same way. You couldn't tell if they're up by 20, down by 20, whatever. It's just they play their game, and then the next thing you know, they find a way to win.
The last thing that Carlos just wrote, I 100% agree with. These teams get one injury to the player they.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it with the 49ers. Trent Williams and Debo went out for 3 games. They lost all 3 games.
Well, that's the one thing that Philly probably has is the most depth of all those teams that we're talking about right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're pretty deep, Philly. You know what I'm saying? So, and like you said, they just keep chipping away. They keep handling their business. They keep doing what they're supposed to do. So, now. So.
Yeah, and Ryan, I'm not saying this is going to happen, and I'm not wishing it into existence. But if Jalen Hurts ever got hurt and was out for the season, Philly would drop into tier 2.
That's every team, though.
I mean, that's every team, though, bro.
That's every team.
But I think out of the
Colts,
top
apparently.
4 tier teams that Allen put up, the only 2 teams that could afford a quarterback injury, Chiefs, Eagles. The other 2 tier 1 teams.
The Chiefs can't afford to lose Patrick Mahomes.
No, they can't. That's what I'm saying. They cannot afford to lose.
They can't. Yeah.
They can't. If Hurts or Mahomes ever got hurt and were out the rest of the year, you could say goodbye to those.
Who's the Eagles' backup now? Oh, Mariota, right?
Mariota. Yeah, that gives me no hope.
It's full circle. We'll get in the next game, but it's weird to me that he's in Philly because remember when Chip Kelly took that job, he was going to try to trade the farm to get Mariota to Philadelphia because it was like that was his Oregon quarterback at the time. Right. Couldn't ever get him, and now full circle, here we are. He's in Philadelphia as the backup.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as that, I mean, I think if any of those 4 teams lose their quarterback, they're going to be in trouble.
I don't think San Francisco would be in trouble because I think Shanahan proved last year the quarterback is a meaningless position on that team. He's got
until they got to the NFC title game, and then you know what I'm saying. I mean,
Purdy's pretty good. They got Aaron Donald. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they got Sam Darnold as a backup, but I think what San Francisco, what John Lynch has done a great job with, is build the talent around them so that if they sustain the loss to the quarterback, they might be all right with Sam Darnold.
Right. Yeah, they can still function.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's get into the next game here. We got Patriots lose. They fall to 2-9. Scott said it. They get a top 5 pick this year, pretty much guaranteed. Jets 4-9. They 10-7 in a fucking just. Oh God, Scott! I don't know how you watch this game. I didn't see a whole lot.
I turned Red Zone channel on halfway through the game. After Mac Jones threw that second interception, I was like, I'm out. See you later.
I was watching the Red Zone channel, so this game was not on the Red Zone channel at all. 12 of 21, 89 yards, 2 interceptions for Mac Jones, 9 of 14, 54 yards, 1 interception for Bailey Zappi. Ramondre finally had a good game, 21 carries, 98 yards, 1 touchdown. Demario Douglas, 6 for 49. You get to the Giants. Danny DeVito, 17 of 25, 191 yards, 1 touchdown. Saquon, only 12 carries for 46 yards. Jalen Hyatt they finally broke loose a little bit. 5 receptions, 109 yards. Giants Twitter has been pounding the thumb here. John, you got anything to add here other than both these teams absolutely fucking suck?
Yes, Carlos. They're not going to be like that.
No, that was about as ugly as it can get as far as a ball game there. I'm with you guys. I was watching the Red Zone, so yeah, I think I saw like 2 minutes of this game total. And I mean, looking at these numbers, man, there might be some turds laying around. in this ball game, man. That was crazy. But
Yeah.
I mean, how quickly the downfall of Mac Jones, man. Like that kid, I don't think he had no shot, bro. I mean, after his rookie season, like they completely screwed him, bro. I mean, the whole two offensive coordinators, and then pulling him in and out of the lineup.
It's crazy to me that next year, and we don't know the fate of Justin Fields. That what was that? They're all 4-year quarterbacks now, and they all from that draft class, and they would all be gone on new teams outside of Trevor Lawrence. I mean, remember Trevor went 1. I guess Zach Wilson. We don't really know if he'll be a Jet or not, but I mean, he ain't starting. And even if Aaron, I don't even know if they'd want him to be the backup to Aaron. So, you know what I mean? And then you had Trey Lance on a new team. He's a third stringer. Can't even find him. Can't even find this field. Mac would be gone from New England, and then Justin Fields possibly gone from Chicago. So crazy.
That's crazy. And again, that's why what I'm saying, I say if you have a serviceable quarterback or a young quarterback that shows promise and you can develop them, don't just think, oh well, there's a bunch of quarterbacks coming out in this draft. There's not always a CJ Stroud, and what I'm saying. And again, he's having a great year this year. Hopefully, he can continue it. He seems to show signs that he's a good player, but you never know what you're gonna get in the draft. I mean, it's a coin flip with these quarterbacks, unless there's that one stud, that Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning. I mean, even Trevor Lawrence has played well, but he's had issues in his fourth.
Well, we also have to know like these they're not going to the best teams, like Trevor Lawrence. They're going to the worst absolute shithole.
Situation matters, man. What situation you're in absolutely matters. The organization that drafts you. I mean, if you go to a bad place, I mean, you see what happened to a David Carr, got his career ruined going to the Texans. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you never know, man. But it's crazy to look back at that draft now and say that Trevor Lawrence is the only one that is actually playing okay.
Gonna stay. It could be with the
it could be the only one that actually stays with his franchise.
The thing with Mac Jones, I'll say this: he has nobody on that coaching staff that will develop him as a quarterback. Zero. There's no coaches on there that are A, former quarterbacks, or B, can develop. Everybody says Bill O'Brien's this offensive genius. Okay, he's a good offensive coordinator. He's not a great offensive coordinator. He's a good offensive coordinator. But he's not a guy that's going to develop a quarterback. Yeah. He's not going to take the time to develop a quarterback. So you have to go – and I'm fearful of any of these guys if they get drafted by the Patriots. They'll flounder just like Mac Jones has because there's nobody on that staff. Bill Belichick needs to stop the thinking, I can only hire guys that have coached here before or have coached for me at Cleveland. He's got to stop that thinking.
Sometimes you need a new outside voice that says, hey, we can do something different here now.
Yep. And Bill does not want any of that.
The other thing is, I mean, how many young, up-and-coming, offensive-minded, coordinators want to go work for Bill Belichick?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the other thing, too. That was an issue that, some of the coaches from his tree were having. That was an issue Brian Flores had down here. Nobody – you say he couldn't get an offensive coordinator. Nobody wanted to work for him. So I mean, it's wild, man. But it's not just the coaches; it's the talent. Like this, we talked about it this morning. There's nobody on the offensive side of. There's no skill players. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson's a good player, but that's it. I mean,
and Johnny, what's this, week 12? And they finally decided they want to use him.
Week 11.
And that's the weirdest thing to me. Being a Bill Belichick team, they should have ran him into the ground, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
To try to win ball games this year.
Bill's trying to outsmart everybody, and he's not.
Yeah. What are you signing Zeke for? You have a stud back in Ramondre Stevenson. Use him. Today showed he's good. Use him. And they don't use him.
Yeah. We get into the Steelers. Steelers, first time they've had 400 yards of total offense in 56 games. 0 in the Matt Canada era. The Matt Canada era is gone. And new offense, but yet in all that 400 yards, they only scored 16 fucking points. Makes no sense to me. But nonetheless, Kenny Pickett, 24-33, 278 yards, no touchdowns. Najee, 15-99 and a 1 touchdown. Jalen Warren, 13 for 49. Pat Fairmouth led the way for the Steelers, 9 receptions, 120 yards. George Pickens, 3 for 58. Deontay Johnson, 4 for 50. I don't know if you guys caught the clip, speaking of Deontay, of where
I did.
he was running a route, just really kind of gave up the route. It was a run. The guy fumbles it. Deontay looks at the ball and just fucking continues, just stands there. I mean, I think the guy's knee was down, but nonetheless, he gave 0 fucks.
Listen, anybody on Twitter could put anything out there and make it look like it's to their argument. Deontay must have seen the guy's knee down and said, okay, his knee was down. We touched him, play is over. That's the only reason why Deontay would look at the ball and just keep walking. He would not keep walking if the guy didn't get touchdown.
You hope so. You hope so.
You hope so. You hope so. But, I mean, everybody's looking at it like, oh, Deontay just quit on the play. He must have saw the guy get touchdown.
But he didn't even block on the run either. Like, if you watch that clip from the beginning, he's not the only receiver to ever do that. We know Randy Moss is notorious. Chris Carter used to say, would tell the corner, hey, we're running opposite end of the field. You don't hit me, I'm not going to hit you. Let's save ourselves this play. And he would sell that corner that. You know what I mean? Like, they're pretty much gentleman's agreement. Like, hey, I'm not going to do anything. You're not going to do anything. Good to go?
Hope you had a good dinner with your family last night, but I ain't blocking you. Don't touch me. And we're running the ball.
I mean, I guess that's a good way to make sure you don't catch a cheap shot or a shot when you're not looking. You know,
conserve your energy. Chris Carter said, like, it's and I'm not saying so. Deontay's not the only guy that's ever done that, but the clip doesn't make him. You know what I mean? It doesn't show good light on him. You know what I mean? And he might have did see Warren's knee was down, but still, not to. What if they didn't call? What if it wasn't down though? You know what I mean? And
true. Then that's a bad look for Deontay.
You got to play to the whistle, right? Ain't that what the coaches always tell us? Play to the whistle.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I said I had the conversation. I said if it was anybody else, not anybody else, but if it was high school or even college, he's getting benched, right? Like he's getting pulled, like you know what I mean. But because we're professionals and you're getting paid a shit ton of fucking money, you just kind of got to live with it, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean, Najee looked good today. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Najee looked
big game for Najee. That was his best game. Yeah.
So that's huge for them if Najee can get going down the stretch.
So the Bengals, Jake Browning, 19 and 26, 227 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Joe Mixon, 8 carries for 16 yards. Jamar Chase, 4 for 81. Not much in the Bengals offense under the Browning kid. You guys got anything else to add on this game?
No, I mean, I just want to throw in there real quick about the Pittsburgh defense. TJ Watt, 5 tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble. He was even out on a pass coverage where he played zone and disrupted a pass play there too. I mean, that Pittsburgh defense is, I mean, that's the answer to how the hell are they winning games. You know what I'm saying? Like we mentioned, 400 yards of offense, you score 16 points, but yet you win the game. I mean, easily too. I mean, they showed they actually surprisingly showed quite a bit of that game on the Red Zone channel. You know what I'm saying? And it was just, I mean, that Pittsburgh defense is for real, man.
I agree, Ryan. Browning looked better than Mac Jones today.
Yeah, I mean, they were hyping the kid up on when I was watching that little bit of that game. So.
Yeah. I mean, everybody looked better than Mac Jones today. I said in the group chat. I
don't know.
Except for Bailey Zappi, he didn't look.
There's one guy that hasn't looked good yet, and it's his offense. It could be Frank Wright, it could be Bryce Young, it could be everybody, but it's Carolina. Bryce, they lose 17-10. We kind of mentioned it. What the hell is Frank Wright doing? This game's on the line. It's 4th and 9, and you run a fucking swing pass, and it was blown up like I blew up a fucking toilet after I ate Taco Bell. I mean, that's how bad it was blown up. Bryce Young, 18 to 31, 194 yards. Chuba Hubbard, 14 carries for 45 yards and a touchdown. Where was Adam Thielen at? Only 1 catch for Adam Thielen today. Jonathan Mingo, 4 for 60. For the Titans, Will Levis, 18 to 28, 185 yards. Derrick Henry, 18 carries for 76 yards and 2 touchdowns. DeAndre Hopkins had 3 for 49. Not much to talk about here. Scott, you got something?
Do you get the feeling they told Adam Thielen before the game, hey, we're not throwing you the ball, so you don't have to worry about anything? Just seemed like the Frank Reich, who went big to Adam Thielen when he was calling plays, all of a sudden today goes away from him. What are you doing? What are you doing? You must have been told.
And he was your most dependable, you know what I'm saying, weapon. You know what I'm saying? So that was, I don't know, man. Maybe they wanted to secure that number one. I mean, they don't. It's not even their pick anyway. I don't know what the hell Carolina's doing, bro.
What does Frank Reich care about looking at the future for? He's not going to be there after this year.
I think he's waiting to get fired, bro. I think he wants to get fired, bro.
Their owner, Kemper, I mean, Sam put in the group chat was like, fuck. He said the fuck was like, man. Yeah. I mean, wouldn't, first of all, any owner's mad the way this season's going. And he's a little bit more hands-on than any owner probably should be, meeting with Frank Wright every Monday. But, hey, man, you're the one that hired him, you know, and you're also going to be the guy that fires him. You know, Frank Wright probably should be fired.
And I'm sure he's the one that forced them to trade up to number one. You know what I'm saying? And probably made the decision to take Bryce Young over CJ Stroud. You know what I'm saying? So, bro, you need to look at yourself in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? You can get mad at everybody you want. You're the one that's, you know what I'm saying, wanting to make a lot of football decisions. Stop, bro.
Ryan's comment in the chat says they need to tear down in Carolina. I don't think they have anything to tear down.
What are you going to tear down? Fire the coach, you know what I mean?
I mean, they got some, and the shit is that like their defense is young, bro. They got some good players on that defense.
Yeah, Burns kid's a stud.
So what are you gonna do? You're gonna trade off those young pieces to get even younger pieces? You know what I'm saying? Like it's, oh my god, Carolina's a freaking mess, bro.
They don't have a young coach. They have an old coach, an old former player coach stuck in his ways. Frank Reich will probably be in Buffalo next year as the OC, more than likely. If McDermott's the head coach there still. He's a good coordinator. He's not a good head coach anymore. I mean,
he's the modern day Norv Turner, bro.
Yeah, basically. He's going to go 2 years in Buffalo, go to another job, go to another. Yeah, it's all he's going to do.
You think they give him another? You think somebody?
No, this is it.
OC-wise.
OC-wise. He's done as a head coach.
I don't think Buffalo gets rid of McDermott. I mean, I know we haven't gotten to that game yet, but I don't think Buffalo gets rid of McDermott, bro. I mean, one bad year out of 6
it's
or whatever.
Slowly imploding more and more, though. That's the problem.
Yeah. Agreed.
I don't mind the chaos. I ain't even gonna front.
Kellen Moore to Carolina, calling it now.
Who wants that job right now?
Nobody.
Who wants Kellen Moore? Like what the hell is Kellen Moore doing?
What the hell is he doing in Los Angeles?
Right. He's trying to hold on to his job. Well, they all going to get fired up.
They all going to get fired
in LA anyway. But
a guy that's not going to get fired is Doug Peterson and D'Amico Ryans. Like that segue there. And we talked about it here. This is a crushing loss for the Texans. Jaguars win 24-21. Texans miss one field goal. I think. First of all, Jags gave so many opportunities to the Texans to win this game. I was watching. They get down to the 1 yard line with 1 second left. They try to run it right before half, just should kick the field goal. And then you also Trevor Lawrence threw some bad interceptions. The Texans would stop him on 4th down. And then the Jags still find a way to win this game, 24-21. The Texans missed 2 crucial field goals. One late, I think it was at half or right around there, late in the game, and then obviously the game tying field goal, which was a 50-yarder. The guy doinked it, missed it. But for the Jags, Trevor Lawrence, 28-38, 364 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Travis Etienne, 20 carries, 56 yards. Trevor Lawrence also ran in a touchdown. Calvin Ridley, welcome to the show, baby. 5 for 89 and a touchdown for Calvin Ridley. And then CJ Stroud, 26-36, 304 yards, 2 touchdowns. I said this before, kids walk-in rookie of the year for sure, but can we quiet down the MVP chance now? 6 carries for 47 and a touchdown. Nico Collins, 7 for 104 and a touchdown. Another guy that could be, if his quarterback wasn't going to win it, could win the rookie of the year, and that's Tank Dell, 5 for 50 and a touchdown. Scott, any thoughts here on that we haven't already said anything about this Jags-Texans game?
A couple thoughts. Tank Dell at 5 for 50 at halftime, I think, and he didn't get a catch in the second half. What happened?
Yeah, that's number one.
How does that happen?
Kudos to the Jags.
Number 2, CJ Stroud took a couple of bad sacks late in the game. I mean, 15-yard sacks where he just kept going back and back and back, looking for somebody to get open, and he just held the ball and took the sack. You can't be doing that stuff. You got to throw the ball away. Get out of the pocket, throw the ball away, live to fight another down.
Yeah,
that's why they had a 50.
I was saying that too. And that's why me and Johnny weren't a couple weeks ago, I think last weekend when we were talking about them, we said they're going to lose a couple games that they shouldn't because they're so young. And they just don't do the little things well. You know what I mean? Like that was a game they should have won. Like they made the big
Jacksonville was giving them every opportunity to steal that game, man. So yeah, but I mean he's still a young quarterback, obviously a rookie. But the talent is there, bro. There's no doubt about that kid.
Oh yeah, he is a fucking problem. And him and Tank Dell and Nico Collins, like that these two teams with Lawrence and Stroud for the next, hopefully the next, decade plus. We hope. Hopefully, we're watching these two go at it. Every week. Every twice a year, every year. Where you just circle this on the calendar, folks, because I want to watch these two guys go at it.
One of these two teams within the next 3 years is going to be playing in the Super Bowl. One of these two teams.
Mark it down. Scott's saying it. November 26, 2023. Scott's saying within the next 3 years, Texans or Jags are playing in the Super Bowl.
And I think it's going to be the Texans because I think C.J. Stroud just needs a year to get himself ready to go. And I think next year he'll even be better this next year than he will be this year. And that's a dangerous thought for the AFC. C.J. Stroud much better than he is now.
They're young too.
Yeah, they're young. They're young. That defense is only going to get better. D'Amico's only going to get better as a coach. That's a scary thought for the AFC South and for the whole AFC, man.
Because when you look at it, Kansas City needs some wide receivers. I know Tanner says the defense is nasty. If they got a one stud wide receiver for Patrick Mahomes, I'd say Kansas City is going to be there every year now. And then you look at Baltimore. How much of a window is open for Baltimore? Is it going to start closing after this year or next year, or is it? So Houston can walk right into that spot where Baltimore and KC are right now, and plant their flag and say we're here to stay with that group. So
it's going to be interesting, man. The AFC, there's a lot of young quarterbacks. So I mean, we talked about it before the season started. All the young quarterbacks in the AFC, and nobody was even thinking about CJ being part of that. So now. You can add another one to the mix, man.
Yeah, add another one to. Yeah, you're right, Johnny.
He's the best quarterback by far that has been drafted in the last 2 years.
I'll agree with that. We got the next game. We got the Falcons and the Saints. Somehow, what if I told you the Atlanta Falcons at 5-6 would be the NFC South division leaders? Arthur Smith we were talking about Arthur getting fired, and now they're in first fucking place in the division. Makes no sense. We know Jonathan Grisham tomorrow night's going to be mad. But Saints lose 15-24, fall to 5-6. Atlanta moves to 5-6. Derek Carr, 24-38, 304 yards, 1 interception. Alvin Kamara, 15 for 69. We got Chris Olave went 7 for 114. Then he had a concussion. He was balling out, and then he got a concussion, and then went my fantasy matchup hopes for the day. We get to the Falcons. Desmond Ridder, 13-21, 168 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Bijan Robinson caught a touchdown, ran for a touchdown, 16 carries for 91 yards, 1 touchdown. Maybe Artie Smith woke up and said, "Hey, we got a guy." I realized we got a guy in Bijan Robinson. 3 receptions for 32 yards, a touchdown. Drake London, 5 for 91. Scott, you got anything to add here about this first place Falcons now?
This division is like we call it the beginning of the year. Bad. It's bad. So next week, Atlanta loses, New Orleans wins. New Orleans is back there. Tampa Bay goes on a 3-game winning streak. Tampa Bay is in first place. I mean, come on. Really, the whole division is just a piece of crap, to be honest with you. I can't. It's like the American League Central from baseball. It's bad. I mean, Atlanta's going to be a division champion? Maybe?
I mean, like you just said, who knows in the next couple of weeks, man. But I'm with you, Nick. Like, how do you not use Bijan Robinson more earlier in the season, bro?
That's right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a reason why you drafted him so early in the first. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a stud, man. Use the player you got there because
This is truly the division nobody wants to
was
win,
horrible.
right?
You're saying Ritter did not play well today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, one of the touchdowns, Jesse Bates took one to the house. It's like a 100-yard interception return for a touchdown.
Right.
Remember last year, Dallas was the 5 seed and went into Tampa and destroyed them. Same thing's going to happen this year. Dallas is going to be the 5 seed, go into the NFC South champion and destroy them.
Whoever it is, the Saints or the Atlanta or whoever.
Yeah, it's going to happen again.
It's truly the division that nobody. The Panthers still got a division chance, like because they have one win. Yeah, everybody else only got 4 games. They rattle off. They fucking figure it out. Not that they look like absolute dog shit, but I mean, just if they figured it out.
How crazy would that be, bro? But
could you see
this is why that Tampa loss was so big. You say Tampa had an opportunity to stay with these. You know, say even though granted they're only a game back or 2 games back or whatever, but Tampa had an opportunity today, man, and they went into Indianapolis and laid an egg, man. You know what I'm saying? Baker Mayfield, he's gonna wind up being one and done. I mentioned it. I want to say either last week or a couple weeks ago. Todd Bowles was my turd of the week. Like they just make bad decisions over there, man. That defense that's supposed to be
the whole division is
garbage.
Just top bottom shit coaches, shit fucking quarterbacks.
Could this division have 4 new head coaches next year?
Yeah, I don't know. Whoever wins it probably gets the pass, right? Artie probably gets the pass, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Either Arthur Smith or the Allen dude from New Orleans. I guess whichever one of them wins the division will probably keep their job. Even though I don't know. That's an embarrassment of a division, bro. For real.
Nick, when Jonathan comes on tomorrow night, mention Dennis Allen to him and let him go off for 15 minutes about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They do call us. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. They give up way too many games. Way too many.
Both those teams just they're like it. You know, it's just like those are the teams. Like I wish Green Bay was in the NFC South. You know what I mean?
I know. I know.
You know.
Yeah, I feel you.
This game today, Atlanta was like, you take the game. New Orleans was like, no, I don't want it. You take it. And then it was you want. Right. That's exactly what it was. It was like Jacksonville.
It's like, hey, you want to be the division leader? Nah, you can have it. You know what? It's like that last slice on the pizza, right? And it's between you and your buddy, and you're both just sitting there. You're both kind of want it, but you don't really want it. You don't want to be the asshole to take the last slice. So you're like, hey, you want the last slice? Nah, man, you can have it. Nah, man, you can have it, bro. Like you can have that last slice. I'm full. I'm full too. So then that last slice sits there for like 30 minutes as you both just kind of sit there and just chill out and stare at that last slice. Like, who's going to eat the last slice of fucking pizza? No, that's it.
Oh, that's great. That was great.
That is awesome.
That's exactly right, bro. For real.
That's the NFC South in a nutshell.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Oh, that was great.
Let's get into the next game. The Rams 5-6. They're back they're smelling the playoffs too, baby. When this team's healthy, when Matthew Stafford's healthy, and that's a big if, man, they got a team like I think you. Let me ask you this: after Sean McVay, to you guys, like this is his best coaching job. I feel like they don't have a whole lot of talent, right? And they're winning. They're 5-6 in the playoff hunt.
I mean, they got championship experience, obviously, I'm saying, from that title a couple years ago. They don't have a lot of talent, like you said, but they still got some pillars. You know what I'm saying? You still got Aaron Donald there on the defensive side. Like you mentioned, Matthew Stafford, when he's healthy, I mean, he played well today. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have a lot of yards, but those 4 touchdowns. You got Cooper Kupp. You got, I'm not even going to butcher his name right now. The Nikapua or whatever.
Nakua.
Yeah, him. You know what I'm saying? Him, you got some good running backs, you know what I'm saying? So and he still comes up with some of those plays today that the Rams pulled out were pretty cool. So I mean, he still is a good offensive mind. That's a scary team, man. You know what I'm saying? If they sneak in, you know what I'm saying, they could upset somebody, I think.
What does Arizona do in the offseason? Like what, you know what I mean? Like they go different quarterback. They signed Kyler to this big deal. I mean, do they just say, fuck it, we're going to draft Marvin Harrison Jr.?
If they're keeping Kyler, they may not get Marvin Harrison Jr. If Chicago's get 1 and 2, they ain't sniffing Marvin Harrison Jr. because I think Chicago's gonna take him with one of those 2 picks. So, yeah, I mean, are they keeping Kyler? That's the first question. Or are they going to try to trade him in the offseason? I don't know.
Who knows? Reports are that they want to keep him. So who knows?
Well, based on the quarterback situation, the whole NFL, I'd want to keep him too. But yeah, if they're keeping Kyler, they need to find a way to get up to 1 or 2 and draft Marvin Harrison Jr. Because
they're 2-10 right now. So
right, I was about to say that. They're 2-9. So I mean,
2-10.
they may be in a position to draft him anyway.
Yeah,
but I mean,
Chicago's getting 1. Chicago's getting 1. Well, they'll either be 2 or 3.
Yeah,
they need more than just a wide receiver though. They need a couple offensive linemen. They need a whole redo that defense. Still, I don't know what the hell Arizona's doing, man. I mean, you think they tanking and then they bring Kyler in, even though they still can't win even with Kyler. So I don't know, man.
I feel like they're getting worse with Kyler out there, right? Like right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he makes plays every once in a while, but then there's times where it's like, bro, what do you know what I'm saying? Like the guy's right there, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, man. I'm not the biggest Kyler Murray fan, you know what I'm saying, as far as his skill set. I mean, obviously he's got some skills, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I think they never should have given that contract. The whole doesn't want to watch film and all that shit. Like, if you have an issue with your quarterback not putting in the time, that's a problem, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a different position where you can get away with that. That's your QB. That's the face of your franchise, bro. There shouldn't be any question whether or not he's putting in the work.
Yeah, I agree.
When Cooper Kupp and Puka, the 2 best receivers on that team, combined for 7 catches for like 60 yards, and you give up 37 points, there's a serious problem.
Right.
Serious problem. Yeah. You can't be doing that stuff. If you expect to be taken seriously, you can't do that. So
let's get into the this game here, the Rams-Cardinals. Matthew Stafford went 229 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Kyron Williams, huge game, 16 for 143. Royce Freeman, 13 of 77 and a touchdown. Kyron caught 2 balls, 6 for 61. Tyler Higbee, 2 touchdowns. Not much from Cooper. He was banged up, 3 for 18, and Puka had 4 for 27. We get to the Cardinals here. Kyler, 256 yards, 1 touchdown. James Conner, only 6 for 27. Kyler also ran in a touchdown. Marquise Brown, 6 for 88. Trey McBride, 7 of 60. So Greg Dortch, 3 for 27 and the lone touchdown. I think anybody else got anything to add on this game here?
No, it was a complete ass whooping by the Rams, bro.
Yep.
Yeah. We get into Browns, Broncos. We just kind of talked about it a little bit ago. Broncos, 5 wins in a row. Get to 6-5 in the playoff hunt. Browns fall 7-4, 29-12. DTR gets hurt in this game. We went 12 of 29, 134 yards, 1 touchdown. Here comes PJ Walker, 6 for 13. Jerome Ford, 9 for 65. David Njoku, 6 for 59, led the way in receiving yards. You get to the Broncos. Mr. Dangerous Russ, 13 of 22, 134 yards, 1 touchdown. Javonte Williams, 18 for 65. Samaje Perine, 755 at a touchdown. Russ also ran in 1. Cortland Sutton, 3 for 61. Broncos win here. Scott, you got anything to add here about the Broncos game that we haven't already talked about?
Amari Cooper must have missed the plane today because he did nothing. So Amari Cooper didn't attend the game today, it looks like, number 1. Number 2, what are you doing, Cleveland? What the hell are you doing? I know he doesn't want PJ Walker to play. I know he wants him as far away from the team as you possibly can get him because you're starting DTR and you're not starting PJ Walker. But the Cleveland Browns defense is the best unit on the field, and they're giving 29 points up to the Denver Broncos. What are you doing, Cleveland? Big game for you. You got everything to gain, everything to lose, and a little bit to gain, and you lose and you blow it. You just go up to Denver and you say, okay, we're going to lay an egg up in Denver. We're going to lose the game. These are the type of games that that give me pause on Cleveland making the playoffs this year.
Well, I'm with you on that too. I mean, so the play calling was freaking horrible. Not only Amari Cooper, but David Njoku, bro. Can you catch the fucking ball? You know what I'm saying? I mean, how many drops you gonna have, bro? But that double reverse right after DTR gets hurt was one of the stupidest plays I've ever seen in my life, bro. And I'm not just pissed off because that killed my parlay, Scott. That game right there killed my parlay, man.
Yep,
Miles carrying a sling
because
after
of that
the game.
freaking touchdown. Yeah, he was struggling. I mean, there's only so much that defense can do when they're on the field as long as they are. And
if he's hurt, if Miles Garrett's hurt, there goes the the Browns already. I thought after Deshaun went out.
Yeah, they could easily lose. They could easily lose 3, 4, 5 in a row. You know what I'm saying? They can lose 4 out of the last 6 or whatever they got.
Let's look at the Browns schedule real quick while we're talking about them real fast.
Yeah, Denver just ran the ball down their throats and took advantage of the Browns turnovers. The Browns just couldn't make a big play when they needed to make a play.
So Browns got the Rams next weekend. That's a tough game. Both teams need it, right?
That's a loss. Yeah. So how are they going to score?
Yeah.
He's playing pretty good.
Jaguars, that's a loss, I think.
Yep.
They got the Bears. They could beat the Bears with or without. You know what I mean? They should. They still can.
Yep.
They got the Texans. I would favor the Texans in that game because they both need that game for the playoffs.
Was the game at Houston?
In Houston.
It could be a loss. Yep.
Then the Jets come to town. Maybe Aaron Rodgers is back for that game. That's the 12-28 game. So a Thursday night game. If Aaron plays on Christmas Eve, which he wants to play, I would take Aaron Rodgers with the Jets.
You're gonna play Aaron Rodgers 4 days, bro. I mean, I would take Aaron Rodgers and the Jets over Cleveland.
But if it's not Aaron, it's Tim Boyle or whoever the fuck back there. Then I would take it. That game's going to be a low scoring.
And I'm picking the under. I was about to say I'm picking the under. I'm picking the under.
Even if Aaron Rodgers is back, that Jets offensive line is like Swiss cheese. So
it is.
I would still take
they got us 3. They got us 3 out there. Scott, you're playing guard. Johnny's playing tackle, and I'm playing center. You know what I mean? So looks for the Jets offense.
Yeah, so that could be 2 wins for the Browns right now. 2-2 down the stretch here.
Then they got the Bengals again.
They should beat them.
They should be able to beat them. It's again
maybe 3 wins, man. That gets you 9 or 10.
Right. So they have to beat Chicago, Cincinnati, and the Jets. If they lose one of those games, they might not make the playoffs. That's about what it is because you're going to lose the other 2, more than likely. Yep. You better win those.
I'm not saying those other 3 teams. They could beat them with the way this off. Like they're just so beat up. And if Myles Garrett's out for extended time, stick a fork in them. They're done.
Absolutely, no doubt.
There's only so much that defense can do if the offense can't do anything at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I mean,
then you become Jets, right? You become the Jets where you're just like defensively, you're just like fuck,
right?
You know what?
I mean, they're probably feeling that way already.
The best chance to win is PJ Walker quarterbacks, not DTR. If DTR is okay and is ready to play next week, PJ Walker gives you the better chance to win at quarterback.
I'm surprised they went to DTR.
I'm surprised too. Yeah. I'm sorry, Cleveland. PJ Walker's your better quarterback. Oh, you know what? It could be Joe Flacco next week.
Yeah.
God.
Because Joe Flacco will just sling the ball around and he won't care if he gets intercepted or not. Because if you release him, he'll just go back to his couch again.
I thought Lamar was hurt for a second the way he went down, but he's fine.
So yeah, it could be Joe Flacco next week. I don't think Stefanski wants PJ Walker anywhere near the starting quarterback position. For whatever
Why
reason.
do you even have him on the squad then? You know what I'm saying? I don't understand that. I don't know. That was a complete shit show, man. And I'm not saying that only because I lost my parlay.
Speaking of complete shit show, it might be the Bills and the Bills defense. Man, 34-37. Bills fall to 6-6. The Eagles still find now somehow a way to fucking win a game every time. 10-1. They win this game in overtime, 34-37. I said at the top, Elliott kicks for the fucking brand a 60-yarder, send them in overtime. Josh Allen, 339 yards, 2 touchdowns. Again, had the bad interception late in this game. 9 carries for 81 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rushing for Josh Allen. Gabe Davis, 5 for 105 and a touchdown. Stephon Diggs, 6 for 74 and a touchdown. The Eagles, Jalen Hurts, 3 touchdowns, 200 yards in interception. He also ran for 2 touchdowns, 14 for 65. DeAndre Swift, 14 for 80. Jalen Hurts today might have put himself as the front runner for MVP. Devontae Smith, 7 for 106 and a touchdown. A.J. Brown, 5 for 37 and a touchdown. Olamide Zacchaeus had a caught a ball for a touchdown. To me, we're going to find a lot in, I think it's 2 weeks, this Eagles 49ers, who the best team is. To me, I think those 2 teams to me are the most well-rounded teams.
It's next week, San Francisco, Philly. It's next Sunday.
It is. I was thinking it was 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
No,
it's like, what is it, next Sunday?
Philly's got San Francisco and Dallas coming up in the next 2 weeks. So, as I said in the morning show, you'll find out a lot about what Philadelphia's chances are.
I think today has to speak a lot for them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, as much as
49ers are favored right now in that game, -1.
I'd take Philadelphia right now.
Is it in Cali?
Nope, it's in Philly.
Is it Philly?
I'd take Philly right now.
San Francisco's favored? Wow.
Because of what San Francisco's done in the last 2 weeks and what they've shown.
Wow.
I would take Philly right now at home. No doubt in my mind.
I mean, Philly at home, I would probably take them too. But again, as much as Buffalo's 6-6 right now. I mean, they still have a top tier quarterback when he doesn't throw a freaking dumbass pick. But he was having a phenomenal game. Buffalo was beating them down. And then they just that second half. What a complete turnaround in that second half. But I think Philly showed today. I mean, that was a big win for Philly to come back and win that game today.
Yeah, I favor Philly. I'm a favorite Philly.
I was about to say, if San Francisco's favorite right now,
could help. The 10-day rest from Thursday to Sunday could help the 49ers, though.
True.
This was a hard-fought game for Philly, right?
Yeah.
This game too.
Back to back too. Man, imagine if they beat and Ryan, I think, said it last week. Nobody could say anything if they go on this run, beat the Chiefs. They did that. Beat the Bills. They did that. Man, if they beat the 49ers, man.
I mean, I know the 49ers have looked well the last couple of weeks, but I mean, Philly would be my number 1 team right now.
Well, here's the
San
other
Francisco would be 2. Kansas City.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to give Philly their respect, man.
And here's the other point I've been making, and I've made it in the past. Brock Purdy needs to play with the lead. If he's behind, he's not a quarterback that can bring you back. He needs to play with the lead. And if Philly jumps on them early, I don't think San Francisco's got a chance. Got a chance to win that game. Not a chance. Because Purdy,
to me, that's a game. Yeah, remember the old Pittsburgh Ravens game? They said that's a 2 chin strap game. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Tighten the chin straps. Hey. That's going to be Philly 49ers game because these 2 teams hate each other. A lot of both teams chirped all offseason. Back and forth. And both of them, I like both of them. They're defensively to me, both defensive lines, offensive
Jalen
lines.
Carter is talk about the steal of the. I mean, Philly they always pick the right ones, bro. They got a squad, bro. Philly's got a squad.
And I don't know if anybody will agree with this, but the one thing that gives me pause about next week's game is Philly's got Dallas after that. And how much are they looking past?
They can't possibly look
they're
past
looking more towards
bro.
the 49ers. They see the 49ers as they're equal.
Like Nick said, all that chirping during the offseason, I think they do look at San Francisco as the team that they are going to have to beat to get to the Super Bowl. I think they see Dallas as that's just our division rival. We're going to go ahead and just stomp them out like we always do.
Oh, I agree. I would put Philly as a 7-point favorite against Dallas because I don't think Dallas can beat them at home.
Yeah,
in Philly.
But I don't think Philly will overlook San Francisco. So I don't think that'll be a problem.
That could be an NFC preview again.
Please tell me that's the Sunday night game.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Sunday afternoon game. Sunday night games. Packers Chiefs.
Oh, yeah. True. Okay.
which maybe see, each network gets 5 games to protect, and I think Fox protected Philly, San Francisco.
Oh, I would too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why
that's a 4:00 game.
It's got to be.
Yeah,
it's got to be.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's like their game of the week, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun, man. That's gonna be some good games next week.
But I will
agree
agree
with game of the week to me. Philly.
I will agree with you, Nick, and I'll agree with Ryan. He's put himself at the front of the MVP conversation, and if you didn't watch the game, you wouldn't say this. Jalen Hurts carried that team today on his back.
Yeah, he did.
Oh yeah. Well, every time they need to play, he makes a play. You know what I mean? Whether his arms, his legs. Yep. Yeah. Let's get into the last bit here. Man, I thought the Raiders were going to pull this upset out here, 31-17. They were up. What were they at? 14-0.
14-0.
Yeah. Unfortunately, they're the Raiders. Pat Mahomes, 27-34, 2 touchdowns. Hey, they scored 17 points in the second half. So everybody, if the Chiefs fans got to be happy about that. Pacheco, 15 for 55 and 2 touchdowns. Rashee Rice, 8 for 107 and a touchdown. Travis Kelce, 6 for 91. We said look for these people. Noah Gray, 3 for 30. Justin Watson, only 1 reception for a touchdown. We get into the Raiders here. Aiden O'Connell, 23 of 33, 248 yards, 1 touchdown. Josh Jacobs, 20 carries for 110 yards and a touchdown. Jacoby Myers, 6 for 79, a touchdown. Devontae, 5 for 73 here. So, Scott, you got anything to add here about the Raiders Chiefs?
Finally, Rashee Rice is unleashed. Maybe. Use the kid. He's the best wide receiver you got on the team. Use him. He'll take all the pressure off Travis Kelce. He'll take all the pressure off Mahomes. As long as he catches the ball, which he did today, use the kid. Just use him.
I mean, the crazy thing, like you're saying, 8 for 107 at a touchdown, and he had like 2 or 3 drops.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if this kid actually caught everything that was thrown to him, you know what I'm saying? He'd be putting up even better numbers than that. But that was an interesting game. But I mean, when it comes to Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes, bro, I mean, it don't matter if they're down 14 or, you know what I'm saying, or 20, bro. Like you can't count them out, bro. Especially especially an inferior team like the Raiders, bro. But I'm with you, Nick. I was hoping. I ain't even gonna front.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Chiefs, for the AFC West Division title, because you just won it today. Basically.
Oh yeah, it's over. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
Let's get into our turds of the week. Scott, we'll start with you. Your turd of the week, and it can be Thursday. It can be Thursday through the all week.
Oh no! My turn of the week this week is Bill Belichick.
Woo! That's 2 turd. I gave Bill I guess that was 2 weeks ago. I gave Bill the
2
turd.
weeks ago. Why on earth are you starting Mac Jones? It's like you're banging your head against the wall and thinking you're going to get different results. You're not getting different results. Mac Jones is not who you drafted him to be. He never will be. And you finally decided today to use Ramondre Stevenson. Congratulations. You figured out what you should have been doing in week 1 for all year, which is use Ramondre Stevenson until the legs fall off his body. I don't know what's going on in New England. I don't know. Bob Kraft said to Bill Belichick, you're starting Mac Jones. I don't care. I don't want to hear it anymore. You're starting him. He's playing. You've gotten the same result 2 weeks in a row. Mac Jones is a bad quarterback. He's not the New England Patriots solution.
Bailey Zappe's no much better.
No, they don't have a quarterback on the roster right now. They don't have one.
At least you know that. At least you know that.
Yeah. So my turn of the week is Bill Belichick.
Johnny, you got a turn of the week here.
Nobody.
Yeah, I was gonna pick one of the 2 quarterbacks from the Patriots and just flip a coin, but I'm not gonna pile on since Scott already said Bill Belichick.
Oh, you can.
So I'm gonna go back to Thanksgiving and the Washington's command, Ron Rivera. Like what the hell happened to your team there, bro? I mean, you got completely stomped out, 45-10. That's an embarrassment in Washington. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got excited because they finally got rid of Dan Snyder and they fired their DC Del Rio. They're gonna have to clean house there. We talked about it, I believe, this morning, or it might have been Thursday. Actually, it was this morning about cleaning house and just letting Bieniemy, you know what I'm saying, take the show over for the rest of the season, see what he can do. But that whole Washington Commanders franchise is pathetic, and so they'll get my turd of the week this week.
Yeah, my week 11 turd of the week. If they only got one win, and they could have maybe got another one today, but Frank Wright is an absolute freaking turd. Your seat's hot. We said it. It's 4th and 9. Game on the line. You need a first down. You know what you call a swing pass.
Right.
And it was blown up worse than what I blow up the toilet after I ate Taco Bell, baby. And because of that, Frank Wright, you're my week 11 turd of the week.
Yeah, all three of us went with coaches too. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, coaches, you know,
coaching has been bad, bro. And I'm with you on that swing pass. Like, I don't get it. It's similar to like when it's 3rd and 8 and they run a 4-yard little hook.
Hey, John Madden used to say, why do you run a play on 3rd down that's not past the sticks? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And all three of them are probably going to get fired.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why they're the turds of the week this week, because they'll probably get fired. So,
who is your Scott? Who's your dog of the week here?
We just talked about him. It's Jalen Hurts. Every single week, he carries that team on his back. He makes the right decisions when there's a big play that needs to be made in a key situation. He makes it. That's why he's the MVP frontrunner right now. He runs the ball effectively down to the goal line. Teams know what they're going to do, which is give it to Jalen Hurts, and he still scores touchdowns. Tanner, Patrick Mahomes was second. Sorry. But Jalen Hurts just keeps on going and going and going. And I think that Super Bowl loss last year fueled him because they look even better this year than they did last year. So my dog of the week is Jalen Hurts.
Johnny?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to throw this one up there. I was almost with you here, Tanner, but the entire team kind of fell short, but I think the Packers were more more to do with that than the actual Lions. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with TJ Watt. We wondered how is Pittsburgh winning games? Their defense is why they're winning games. TJ Watt, 5 tackles, 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and a pass breakup. He is an absolute stud. So TJ Watt is my dog of the week and helping Pittsburgh get a win today.
Johnny, you know why Tanner said the turd of the week was the Lions, don't you? Because the Packers won their 5th game.
Right. I know, but I almost picked them right before I picked the Commanders.
Speaking of my dog of the week, it's none other than Mr. Jordan Love, my guy, on national television.
Yeah.
22 of 32, 268 yards, not 1, not 2, but 3 touchdown passes, and he's got the Packers smelling the playoffs, baby. Jordan Love, you know what? Fox wouldn't give him a damn turkey leg. Everybody else is getting turkey legs when they win, but not Jordan Love. But no, most importantly, you know what, Jordan Love? You get to be BodkinShow Week 11 Dog of the Week. That's better than being a turkey leg. Jordan Love is my dog of the week, baby.
Jordan, I'm sorry for your bad game against the Chiefs, because when Bodkins gives you the bump, it's trouble. See Joe Burrow.
It's special. Honorable mention to Matthew Stafford, who balled out today too, man.
Yeah.
25 of 33, 4 touchdowns. The Rams absolutely dominated, and they're keeping their chances alive of possibly squeaking into the playoffs.
Well, his running back too, Kyron Williams, just comes off the IR and has.
We can pick whoever we want, bro. That's not a rule.
I've given my Packers a turd of the week, Alan.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not a rule, right? I mean,
that's not a rule.
You can do it.
Okay, all right.
As long as you're not picking I try to pick different dirt and dogs and turds each week, different ones.
Right.
But
right.
I mean, you could have given it to a bunch of guys this week, but who saw Jordan Love's performance on Thursday coming?
Exactly on prime time.
Right.
Prime
And
time, yeah.
maybe if the Fox would have gave him a goddamn turkey leg, I probably wouldn't. I would have picked Matthew Stafford, but I'm upset they didn't give him a fucking turkey leg. So I had to make a dog of the week.
I'm about to say, so this makes up for it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Hey, what was the guy? He was in. Well, he wasn't. He didn't get no goddamn turkey leg. Fox didn't give him a turkey leg for some odd reason. But everybody else got turkey legs. Who won on all the other networks? But Jordan Love wins. They didn't get. He asked for a turkey leg. You know what, Jordan? Don't worry, I got you. You're dog of the week.
But
Nice.
Keep playing like that.
you know, Tanner, congratulations to your Chiefs, and have a fun time at Lambeau Field next Monday night. It should be really
bro.
fun.
That should
Next
be
Sunday, yeah.
awesome, bro.
Hey, bundle the fuck up because it's gonna be cold.
It's going to be cold on the Sunday night, yeah. But
Oh shit, right?
Woo, Justin
Nice.
Tucker. Well, boys, Scott, you got anything to say before we get out of here?
no, just looking forward to the show tomorrow night with Nick Needles Jonathan about his Saints, number one. And we get to talk to Jim Barringer about the return of CM Punk and Randy Orton to the wrestling community. So,
Hey, more importantly,
looking
our
forward to
truth,
it.
baby. Our
our
truth.
truth is great. As Triple H said in the post-game media session, did you see the post-game with Triple H?
No, I missed it. No, I didn't.
He doesn't want to talk about CM Punk. He hardly wanted to talk about him. He
Oh,
did
yeah.
not talk about it. He had to be asked a question
No sold
to
it, huh?
talk about him. Yeah, he no-sold Punk's return in a big way. I don't know what's going on there, but I don't know if we wanted him back. But since we
He's
all
the one
want
that brought him in.
well, he said the WWE fans what they want, they get. And obviously, we want to see him.
I don't know about that. We've been wanting Roman Reigns to lose for a long fucking time. Like,
Yeah. But in terms of returns, I mean, he said the big return of R-Truth. He talked about Orton's return, and he said, I'm not going to talk about the other return till you guys ask me about him. So he didn't want to talk about him.
I mean, you got to give the people what they want, man.
hey, right?
That's how you
You
do
got to
it.
give the people what they want. What's our final thought? What's your final thought here?
My final thought is another great, Sunday of football. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, it's a lot of fun, a lot less stress on a Sunday when your team has already taken care of their business earlier in the week.
Oh, come on.
You know what I'm saying? So it was a fun day today. I will not be on the late roundup show tonight because I got to go in extra early to work tomorrow, but definitely check that out tonight with my boy Rob and Alan for the post-game show. This one here, Let's Talk Miami Dolphins, Aqua and Orange Insights tomorrow. My boy Alex will recap that ass whooping that the Dolphins put on the Jets on the Black Friday. And then, of course, the Monday night LTS show with the guys here. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're new, hit the subscribe, smash the like, and definitely turn on notifications. A lot of stuff going on at LTS, so definitely check us out.
Johnny, you're going to miss the Rob Logan rant tonight because you know it's coming.
I
It's
wish I could.
10:03.
I'll listen to it or I'll watch it tomorrow while I'm at work. But
Hey, real quick, I just got an update here. You were talking about John Gruden getting back into coaching, Scott, but how about this? John Gruden didn't play for the IU job, and I mean Indiana University. Says former NFL coach has support for Indiana's head coach vacancy. I mean, if you're the Hoosiers, why the hell not? At least get you a name.
That's true.
I mean,
That's true.
If he wants to coach, you might as well. I mean, and you can get away with more as far as
You could tweet at anybody or text, email anybody talking shit if you're winning games.
Right.
Indiana ain't going to give a flying fuck.
Listen, if he wants a Big Ten job, just wait for the Michigan job to open. Then you go get that one.
Nah,
Because
see,
Harbaugh's gone.
the smart
there's
side-
too
the
much
smart-
attention there. There's too much
Yeah,
attention
you
there.
go to Indiana, nobody really knows you're there, right?
Nobody cares. Nobody
Yeah.
cares that you're there.
Yeah, you win, and then you win 6 games at Indiana, they'll build a statue for you.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
You know what I mean? You go to back-to-back bowl games and win back-to-back, Sun Bowl games. hey, you email whoever the hell you want, John. We don't care as long as you keep getting us to the Sun Bowl.
As John Gruden would say, prime time's got a job up in Colorado. I can go to Indiana and I can win in Indiana. Just watch me.
I mean,
Oh man.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
I didn't
just-
understand all the talk about him coming back to the NFL or possibly back to the Raiders. Like that just doesn't make
I
sense.
don't
to me.
think
College sounds about right. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
almost like he has to rebuild himself. You know what I'm saying, before you get another opportunity to come back to the NFL.
Yeah.
You don't just go away for a couple years and then come back after all that shit he did, bro.
I don't think I don't think Roger Goodell would let him come back. You know what I mean? Like all the emails was him, all the emails was him fucking burying Roger Goodell. Really,
the only reason Mark Davis fired him is because Goodell said, if you don't fire him, we're going to get rid of him. So it's easier for you to do it and make you look good, and instead of having us do it and suspend him.
I thought he resigned. I thought he resigned really because of it, really. But
I'm sure Mark Davis told him.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't know that he resigned because then he's giving up his money. So I'm sure it was a mutual parting of you know what I'm saying, of the ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Mark Davis wrote him a big fat check and said, "Hey, John, either you're going to resign or I'm going to fire you." And that's
the other reason why I don't think he's in such a rush to come back, especially to the NFL. You know what I'm saying? If he's got the itch to coach, go to college or whatever. He just got paid. You know what I'm saying? So he's got $100 million. You know what I'm saying? He's got plenty of money, bro. So he can go, he can recruit, and he can treat those kids however the hell he wants to treat them or whatever at Indiana. And like you said, if he wins 7-8 games at Indiana, they're gonna love him forever. So
yeah. I mean, this is probably the most podcast anybody's ever talked about. This 5 minutes. This 5 minutes.
By the way, I don't know Roger, but what the hell are the Chargers doing tonight? What are they doing? 3 points with that talent on that field? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Austin Eckler, God, I needed him to have a huge game to win my fantasy. That's not happening. So there's that.
Unless he catches some passes.
I was just hoping for a couple of upsets today.
Well, folks, we'll be back tomorrow night on the LTS Network with the LTS show, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern. Be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share. We'll see you then. Have a good Monday. Shout out my daughter's actually, if you think about it, my daughter's having surgery tomorrow. Tonsils taken out. So,
good luck.
Friday.
Ice cream in the Bodkins household.
Yeah, Tuesday in the hospital for the wife, or Wednesday in the hospital for the wife, getting kidney stones taken out. Back in the hospital tomorrow morning, daughter's getting tonsils taken out. So,
all positive energy and good vibes your way, bro.
What kind of ice cream you getting, Nick?
Hey, let her whatever she wants.
I was about to say, you get her whatever she wants, bro.
Yep, she's 10. So they said it's worse on a 10-year-old than even when you're little. The older you are, the worse it is. So
absolutely. Yeah. Good luck on that tomorrow.
Yeah, Dad told her today. I said, "Hey, they called me. I told them go ahead and get the full upgrade. To upgrade your face and your attitude." So I paid the extra $200 for it.
I hope she's not watching.
Oh my god, I can't wait to the big LTS gathering and shit, and we all get together and stuff like that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be around Nick and the family, for real.
Yeah.
Is it gonna happen in Green Bay? So
yeah. Hey, we'll see you then, folks. We'll see you tomorrow night. I'm gonna hit that outro.
Bye.